tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
But first, let me take a selfie.
Hello, AfterBuzz fans of the original Season 2, Episode 9, Map of Moments. Are you taking selfies over there,
Yeah,
too?
I am. I was.
Oh, looking good. No, you can do whatever you want. I'm Roxy Striar alongside selfie queen Tiona Hobson.
Hello, hello.
Katie Campbell.
Hey.
And Sam Davidson.
Hey, guys.
All right, guys, this is our mid-season finale right now. We're getting in the holiday spirit, and I kind of missed the selfie song. Can we just bring it back intermittently through? Yeah. What did you guys think? Did you think that this was up to par of where a mid-season finale should be, starting across the table with Katie?
I do. I loved it. There were so many hookup makeout sessions that I wanted to happen, and then there was also a surprise at the end. It was just great. The whole episode.
Okay, Sam, what'd you think?
I second Katie. I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite episodes ever of the originals because it was like happy, it was sad, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
And what could possibly wrong with Christmas?
And that Polaroid, I mean, just like that made the
Selfie.
episode.
That's why we're open with selfie.
I know.
Honestly, though, the Christmas songs throughout was so amazing.
Yeah.
Warmed your heart?
Yeah.
My little Jewish self felt left out. T, what did you think?
I don't think I was excited as those two were about this episode.
We're the cynical side of the table. I
think
understand.
so. Are we just like the Debbie Downers over here?
You know,
I liked it. It was a good episode. Is it have me on the edge of my seat? Like, oh my God, I never screamed out loud of like, what just happened?
I think that the reason we didn't scream out loud is because sometimes I had to rewind and actually ask, wait, what just happened? It
Yeah,
wasn't a
it's very
what just
confusing.
happened. It was a wait, it's come again. There was a lot to follow, which is why it's really important that we are here tonight breaking down the episode. Some of us, Katie, might have understood a little better than others, Roxy, and it needed some things explained to them a couple times. I don't know. I just felt like there were so many, and we will get to all the body jumps, or as I called the swaps, later on. But oh my gosh, I hope nobody got, like, how do I block anybody from coming into my body and me jumping into anybody else's? Sounded a little more sexual than I wanted it to.
I mean, that did sound pretty dirty.
Speaking of dirty, though, I'm just going to get right into our ship wars.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's not anything to do with the first topic.
Oh, yeah, no, I guess I just jumped around a little bit.
You did.
Well, we can just talk. It's because I'm staring at Katie, and I know that all she wants to talk about is her ship war, Elijah. All right, so I'll give you the floor for a second. How did you feel that we finally in season 2 got our Elijah moment?
I was so excited. My heart was racing the whole time I was watching this, the first time and the second time. And when she walked in the room to tell Elijah about the whole marriage to Jackson, his face was so like, oh my gosh, are you really gonna, do this? But then he wanted her to do it, but he kissed her, and you could just, the tension and the emotion, and they're just so beautiful. I love that.
They are beautiful. They're beautiful people.
Beautiful people, and beautiful together. They're characters.
Okay, we differ a little bit there. All right, Sam.
I'm on Team Katie. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for the entire time.
Oh my God, I know.
Who's we? Who is we that has been waiting for this?
Us, okay? That's enough, but everyone.
There's a lot of people on Twitter, too, that are Elijah.
There are a lot.
And we talk all the time about Elijah and how it's going to happen, and it did.
And I will say that in season 1, I saw it going that way, and I was like, okay, like, this could work, and I'm happy with it. But this season, I'm not feeling the Elijah thing. It just doesn't seem, it seems more forced now. And I have a tweet from @ClayleeFanForever, not saying that I'm Clayley fan, but
This person doesn't seem biased at all.
but she said, or this person said, Elijah's sex was very cheap to me. Jackson deserved better than Haley. I lost respect for her and Elijah. And I kind of agree. Like, you just said to Jackson, who said, you do not have to marry me. Like, we can find another way around this. Like, I know you're not into me like that, but I'm into you like that. And then you agree to marry him, and then you go and sleep with Elijah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we've heard it before that wanting to be into him because she thinks he's a good guy. So she's trying to make herself be into him. But she told Elijah, you know, with the involvement that she has with Elijah, she can't just go and do that. She has to at least say and speak her mind.
But then she did go do it. Like, for lack of better words, this was a baffling scene to me. It was baffling. Think about it like this. She basically, not only is she now in a relationship, she's engaged to somebody. And the first thing she does while being engaged, before even hooking up with the person she's engaged to, is she goes and she sleeps with the person that she used to be with, and people are like gung-ho. I'm like, I don't understand.
But don't you guys think that even the way she explained it, because I don't think I'm exactly clear what their relationship, they're going to get married, but it's basically to save the werewolf.
But he said last week, he said it has to be real or it doesn't work. It can't just be like a title. I guess that's the way that I don't know about
They
the
don't
wolf
have to
ceremony.
consummate that.
Yeah, that's what I thought he meant too.
That's why I think it's going to pose a problem in the future, because they're not going to be so, or he might be to her, but she might have these feelings still for Elijah. So
What part about what she was saying made him want to jump her bones?
I get that part because I feel like they were. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hot how vampires just like rush each other, throwing people against bookshelves and like
Of
all that
course.
stuff. Like,
Yes.
I love that. But the thing
Amen, sister.
What else I think came from this is that it's like they're telling each other this, but then they also know that this is like our last shot. We have to get it out of our systems, maybe, because they never did do anything. You know, it was all this like foreplay leading up to things that never actually happened. So I think it was just like, I'm just gonna let all my guards down and go for it.
they did have a kiss before.
Yeah.
that you've been holding on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
In season 1, episode 2.
it's like they took it it straight apart for a while because Haley was dealing with whatever she had to deal with in the beginning of the season, and then now Elijah is on a path where he's having problems because of what his mom did. So, I think they have to still go their separate ways, and like Elijah said, save your side, basically.
One of the reasons she tells, I can't say the only reason because maybe she would have done it anyway, but the reason that we see her tell Elijah is because of something Klaus does, which is really interesting. So apparently the family has this tradition, this bonfire tradition, which I love, and I think we should start here. Do you guys want to go out after this
I
and
was
start a
gonna say
little
just do
bonfire?
it in the table right here.
I feel like
No, we're not gonna- okay.
they wouldn't be down. Like Phil and Kevin, Maria, they would be a little upset if we burnt down the studio, and maybe you guys at home would be a little upset.
Controlled fires.
Yeah, controlled.
Firefighters do it all the time.
Well, if we do it, we will take pictures and send them to everybody. But I am saying that I love this tradition, and you make wishes for other people, and then you burn them for good luck. And Klaus jokingly wrote down, "I hope that you tell." That you tell Elijah that you just gave yourself to another man, and then I go and have a drink with Elijah and tell him that he really dodged one there. Hysterical, classic Klaus. What did you guys think about him being, because I know there are a lot of Clearly fans out there, what did you think about him so clearly being Team Elijah in this?
I loved it, and I thought, he even sees it.
Yeah, I honestly, not to say, because, like, they have had sex, obviously, but to me, it's like a Bayman. Like, they never were, except for the one time they had sex, like, they never were gonna be together romantically. She hated him, but not like a love-hate. But I just feel like it's always been brother or sisterly, kind of. I know it's gross, but I've never seen them romantically, like,
Okay.
even a bit.
I think that what was cool about tonight, I liked when Klaus was saying, I'm not that daddy that you can boss around, or whatever it was. And
Daddy.
the husband.
I'm not your daddy, girl.
All right, my mind's in the gutter tonight. Okay. I'm not that husband you can boss around. I don't know. I will say I see Clearly more than I see Elijah. I do. I just do. Because I think about Endgame, and I think about how long it took us to get to Delana. So I could see it. I know you guys disagree, but I could see it.
I'm starting to see it more, but I also like their moments because I feel like it's teasing the audience and everyone who wants it to be Clearly. I feel like they're putting it in there as teases, because their friend. I think it is like. They've gone through a lot, and I think that they have a friendship-ish
Yeah.
now. So even tonight, when he's kind of making fun of her in that moment, you know, you kind of see his smirk go up, and it's like, oh, that's like a good moment between them because, you know, last season she felt like she was a prisoner.
Yeah, she hated
of his
them.
and hated them. So it's like to see that they could get along now. I was like, okay, like that's progress.
Now she could barely burn the picture. It's like they're her family now. It's changed so much.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the picture and the reason we opened up with Selfie and all of the amazing moments we got prior to Elijah happening. All right, Hope is back. And this has been something, and Rebecca's back. This has been something we've been waiting for so long. We got a little bit of it last episode, but this being the mid-season finale, it was just full-blown, in effect, Rebecca and Hope. Yeah. I have to say, I don't think that they're the same without Rebecca, and I don't think things are the same without Hope. We know Hope's out there, and I just feel like I want her back. I want her back in our lives, and this gave us a little glimpse of that. How are you guys feeling about it?
I want her back too, but I would just be worried about her well-being. I don't want a baby to get hurt.
Aren't you worried now, though?
Yeah.
I just feel like if I'm going to be worried, I might as well be worried with her under Klaus's nose instead of worried with her and just having no idea what's happening.
Because what happens to her now? Because no one knows where Rebecca is, so it's not like they can just send her back out into the world with Aunt Rebecca to take care of her. They're going to have to bring her into New Orleans now.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless, you know,
There's another one that wants to go.
Elijah and...
No.
Well, I mean, that moment
Stays out there
with
in
the
Arkansas.
picture, it was so perfect that it was scary. You're like, what's going to happen now? Like, this is not going to continue to be good.
And that's why they had to burn the picture. You can't even keep a photograph.
Yeah. I don't think I would have burned the photo. I would have
What
been
would you
like,
have done?
probably kept it on me this whole time and like hidden it, or you know, like put it
She would
somewhere
have, like,
really
stuck it in her
safe.
underpants or something.
If you can hide a
Something.
photo, you can hide a baby.
No.
Is that true?
You can't put a baby in your underpants.
I think I very quickly retract that. Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm not
It's
quite
so
positive.
weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird moment I just had. I'm gonna burn in the bonfire. I wish that I never said that. For
I
why?
wish for someone else, not for yourself.
Steven,
be
why don't we
selfish.
cut that out and post? Okay. He's like, no, absolutely not.
No, but I think the picture thing, because even when they were taking, I was like, why are you taking a picture when you cannot keep it? That's asking for someone to find out that Hope is alive. Because if you
There's
take
something
that
that
back,
makes you smile about selfies.
I know, but there's
Dun,
also
dun,
like
dun,
people
dun,
living
dun.
in your house who you can't fully trust. Cole and Davina are back at the house digging through drawers. What if you have that in a drawer?
All right.
And then they find it. You know, I mean, we can talk about. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
Secret
not,
box with like a secret key.
I'm
Isn't that
going.
gonna make people more suspicious? Like, what
But you-
secrets are you keeping?
But you hide it in a way that nobody even sees the box.
You cannot clump Cole and Davina, other than their ship Colvina, into the same sentence. You can't say you don't trust Cole and Davina. Davina's like the cutest little button ever. How could you not trust her?
And Cole is an evil monster.
He is, but I love him. And Colvina, #yes. Like, amazing.
I think that she's gonna start going down a darker path though, sticking around him. He's a
Yep.
dark person.
She's going the Maddie Blue Eyes way.
Yeah, well, not necessarily because Matt's human and she's always
That was a little bit of a
good.
TVD reference.
But Davina, she's practicing the dark arts now, so we're gonna see some kind of character
Yeah.
shift with her. I think.
But look at her smile.
Yeah, I still love
She
her.
fools
But,
me.
I mean, you guys, this girl has been cooped up for almost her entire life in an attic. It's just been the past season that she's been, I mean,
What is she, 17 now?
like, girl's gonna go wild. She's gotta go wild. She's gotta at least go to the dark
What's
side for a little bit.
1,000-year-old vampire? That's gross.
All right, it's not gross at all.
His body is not 1,000 years old.
I'm totally Colvina, but
Oh my
tonight
God.
Cole just pissed me off with his antics and keeping her in the
Yeah.
dark, and the fact that she still is staying with him, knowing what he's done to his family, and doesn't see that he's just as bad as Klaus.
I don't
Who she's
feel like
trying
he
to
is.
kill, then I don't understand how you can still.
He lied
wanna
to
be with
her.
her.
He really did lie to
Yes.
her.
He fibbed.
No,
He did not.
No, he lied.
No, he didn't lie because he corrected it so quickly, and he was
Not so quickly.
manipulative with his words. He never said a sentence that wasn't actually true. He just said something that you would think one way and actually was another way.
He said, what did he say? Did anyone write down a direct quote of
He
what
said
he
that
said?
she, like,
he said
owed him one,
He said
or-
Rebecca
give me a solid.
helped him out in 1914, and he owed her a solid
Yeah,
for
owed her
not ratting him out to Klaus.
And then he said,
and she
And then
Yeah.
24 hours later, however long later, when
He didn't say for not ratting it out. Then we saw in that she agreed, so we assumed she didn't rat it out. He just hadn't finished the story yet.
Well, the way he told her, she didn't see the flashback. She heard the words from him, so he probably
She
said,
saw the flashback.
she didn't see the flashback.
She was watching with us. She was in studio watching with us. Funny enough, she actually hopefully will be soon, but she wasn't for this. Honestly, I think that the only person, there was a whole argument last week about who knows Cole better. Is it Davina or is it, what was the person who fought with Marcel, whoever knows
Marcel.
her? I think that Davina is getting to know the real and the current Cole. And if he ends up making me a sucker, then he makes me a sucker. But for the time being, I think she's going to change him into a better person, and I love them.
She's getting to know the person that he's giving to her.
Mm-hmm. Which is the person I hope he is.
She doesn't even call him Cole.
Yeah,
calls
I
him
think
Caleb.
that is so strange.
Can we stop
because
calling him Caleb now? Like, his name is Cole.
Uncomfortable.
It's not Caleb. Caleb is somewhere else because Cole is in his body.
It's an
so
endearing
Cole.
nickname.
Well, it makes me
Caleb.
feel like she really doesn't know him, and maybe that's kind of a euphemism to be like, he's not really Cole. She's falling in love with this other dude that's someone he's trying to be.
I know, and I think that's the way the show wants us to go, but I'm going to be really upset if what happens is he ends up burning her.
Me too.
Because I'm so sick of watching Davina be burned.
Nope, I think that instead of the traditional sense of how everyone's thinking, or how you just said, that Davina's going to change Cole, I think it's actually Cole who's going to change Davina for the worse.
Maybe they change each other. Maybe they meet
Nope.
halfway, kind of like Delana.
Nope.
No.
All right, well, I guess that I'm wrong.
Nope.
My opinion over here, Ms.
I'm with
Nope.
you. I'm with you a little bit, Rox.
I'm hoping they meet halfway. I think that she has some growing up to do, and she's a little naive, and he can help her with that. And he has some growing down to do, and he's a little
All she has
pompous.
to do is listen to what Marcella is telling her about him.
Yeah, but there was times where we didn't trust Marcel either, and I don't blame her for
I
not touching
still don't
Marcel.
fully trust Marcel.
I don't either.
I don't fully trust anyone on this show.
Who do you trust the most on this show? If you had to pick
Rebecca.
one person.
Hope.
I want
I don't even know if that's true. You don't know what's going on in Hope's head.
She could be like the next serial killer or something.
This is crazy, but actually, if you're going over who's telling the truth and like has never hidden their agenda, it's Michael.
All right.
He's like,
scary.
he's the one
you know exactly what he's gonna
most
do.
upfront with everyone. Like, I want you dead. I'm going to kill you.
All I remember about Hope is last season, because I can't even address the Michael comment you just made, about Hope was last season. We were thinking Hope was going to be born like Benjamin Button. Like, we didn't know, because they kept telling this thing was coming. We didn't know what shape Hope was going to take. So now that I'm seeing Hope, I'm like, oh, it looks like a little baby. But I was thinking that this was going to be like a grown-ass person coming out of the stomach. I didn't know anything.
That would have been really
Bizarre.
a lot of people on YouTube are wondering what she is. Like,
Right.
What is she? A witch? Is she a hybrid vampire?
She was supposed to
werewolf?
change everything. So is she going to, or is she going to die first, or?
Some people are predicting that she's going to grow just like in Twilight. The kid
yeah.
grew up very fast.
Right, we were thinking that too, or the opposite, aka
Benjamin
Button. All right, so we don't exactly know what Cole is up to. Here's what we do know. And I'm not the one to describe this. Something about a diamond, something about a white oak. Like, Katie, you go, girlfriend.
He's using the diamond to make this dagger with the black magic that can put Klaus away in a box, not kill him.
But do we believe that's what's actually going on then?
I think that's what he's trying to do.
I think we know a little bit. I have been bad. I haven't watched all of the web series.
Oh, yeah. So if you guys don't know, there's a web series going on. And the reason that I do know is because... Who are you going to say? That's what you
I
just
was
said?
going to say, no, I was going to say because fans have
Yeah.
been tweeting
The only reason I know that is because you guys are so freaking awesome at home and you've been tweeting us links to it. So we've each watched like a various amount of it. I want to go and watch every single one, but I feel like, and they did a mini commercial for it during the show, but if you're watching on the internet or fast forward, whatever it is, I feel like they got to advertise for it better if it's something we essentially need to watch. But I understood tonight, so I guess it's just a little extra bit they're doing
Yeah,
for
it's
the
just
fans.
the extra pieces because that's what he's working on with these witches. And it kind of shows the root of, him working with Davina's ancestors and like what they were working on and them kind of progressing. And the reason why I had to stop it's like 2 or 3 minutes and I need more than that, so I was kind of saving them all up so I could watch like
you want to binge.
I was like, I want to binge on this, but it's like a minute and a half each. I'm like, man, I want more.
Something we need to remember about Cole, too, is that he holds grudges. He got Rebecca back from 100 years ago. And 100 years ago, he was trying to do this whole thing with the Paragon Diamond because he wanted to get back Klaus.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool to see the old Cole again. I missed him.
Yeah.
And it made it feel like 1914, you know, because in a lot of the flashbacks, we just see Elijah and Klaus, and it makes it feel like, oh, we're seeing the same people, just at a different time, whatever it is. But I was like, oh, yeah, throwback Thursday on a Monday.
It made me feel bad for him. I mean, I even though, like, yeah, he was going to throw Klaus under a bus and try to kill him back in the day, but...
He wasn't going to try to kill him. He was going to try to put him in a box.
Whatever. Box.
There's a difference.
I don't know if I feel bad for him, though. I can't trust a word that comes out of his mouth.
Which one?
Cole.
But you do trust Klaus a little bit?
You know, sometimes.
Because he's been around longer for us?
Yeah.
I get that. Sam, what were you... Sorry, you're in the middle of...
No, I felt guilty for, I understood, like, you know, feeling betrayed by your siblings, feeling ganged up on, you know?
Yeah, it was interesting to watch the decision that Rebecca made.
Yeah, why is she so mean to him? And he said something that I didn't even realize. So she is young. Did he say my little sister?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I always thought he was the youngest for some reason.
No, the girl was.
I think Rebecca's the baby.
Yeah, she is.
And I think that's why she kind of fell under the wings and why she felt so loyal to, like, Nick and Elijah, because, wow, that was weird. I called him Nick, and I never call him Nick.
It's because we keep hearing them call him Nick.
Yeah, but, because, you know, they kind of have always had her back. I know that Klaus does some things that are shady towards her, but those are the two who always protected her, and they always had this sibling, like, a awesome threesome bond.
And we saw that in tonight's episode.
Yeah.
We saw him come through for her.
I thought Cole was the youngest, though.
He's always seemed the youngest. Like,
you
most
guys at
immature.
home know, I'm sure, and also, you know who knows is our TVD wiki.
Well, I do think that Klaus also punished Rebecca a lot, you know, many times over the years, so she kind of feels like she has to listen to him, and she will, you know, sometimes stray to the other side and go against him, but she always loses with that.
Yeah.
And with Cole, he's always trying to go against Klaus. I think you just can't trust him, and he's wondering why he's on the outside and why they let Marcel in, but it's because they can't trust him.
Well, we hear everybody keep saying, Cole is Team Cole. Cole is Team Cole. And Klaus, even though he seems to be a bad person sometimes or can be a bad brother, that's not the thing that we've always said about him. It's not always just like, Klaus is just Klaus. He does actually care about other things, especially when they were younger. But he's been burned so many times, and sometimes he is Team Klaus. But it seems from the past, Cole's just always been Cole. And that's why I'm hoping Davina's the one to change him. Because love conquers all. All right, so this is the most confusing part of the episode to me. It's the whole who's going into who and where we're going with what and how everybody's working together and who knows what about who. So let me see if I have this right. What Esther is trying to do is she is trying to put Rebecca into Cammie's body.
Yes.
Because Cammie, as we find out from Finn, is the perfect target because she's alone. This was sad.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. We were talking about it in the last after show. Why Finn, he kind of seemed like he took a liking towards her, but why would he want to put, you know, his mother, we thought at first, but then Rebecca, his sister, into that
Oh,
body?
yeah, that is a little
It's like
weird.
strange.
Because Finn's a weird dude.
That's some freaky stuff.
He's the one I trust the least because I don't like him.
He's scary.
Yeah, he's scary, and there's nothing personable about him. I'm just like,
Sorry, guys. According to the Vampire Wiki, we were all wrong. Rebecca's not the youngest because Henrique was the youngest who was murdered, but Cole is older than Rebecca.
So
If
it
we're
goes-
looking at- it goes Freya, Finn, Elijah, Nick, Cole, Rebecca, Henrique, and then Hope.
so okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're counting Hope
we're
and
counting-
Henrique, then all right. But Rebecca's the baby sibling.
Yeah.
That is still alive. All right, so we're talking about the jumping. So we're trying to put Rebecca into Cammie, and that's one team is trying to do that. The other team is trying to keep Rebecca as Rebecca, but in case Rebecca can't stay as Rebecca, they don't want to get rid of Cammie, so they want to put Rebecca into Angelica or Angelina.
Angelica.
I
Angelonica?
thought it was
Angelica Parker.
yeah.
Angelica Parker, whose name I don't even know why we threw in there, because then we find out not only is Rebecca not going to stay in Rebecca, and she's not going to go into Cammie, and she's not going to go into Angelica, but instead she's going to go into Person X, which is like so much to deal with.
Well, we were told that she's going into Angelica because Cole was trying to throw everybody off and make it believable because she was one of Marcel's options to possibly become a vampire, but Marcel said she was too lost, so she wasn't an option anymore.
And I don't remember ever meeting her, but I'm sure she was an extra or somebody we saw.
It was one of the groups of people before Gia was turned.
Right. And she's supposed to be pretty, she's supposed to be fine, and all these things. But instead, he puts her into, and I don't know how he maneuvered that. Does anybody understand
because
how?
No.
if Esther needed to actually physically have Cammy there to get like the dots all over her and stuff, how did he get inside that house to prep that witch? Or did he get that girl and then put her into the house?
Well, no, weren't they in the house from like a long, like, haven't they been stuck in that house? Those are the witches that were in the web series, right?
I think
that's what I thought. They told me it was a different witch.
No.
Oh, there's several witches.
But here's the thing. The first thing that we see, this isn't even from the web series, it's from the episode tonight, is that there are 2 witches stuck in that house originally. But this witch house has become a prison for witches of this type, it seems.
Oh, so there's more.
I think what is happening is that he knows some kind of spell to send them in there. So she must have been outside
and then got sent in.
Because of the preview for January 19th, we see Cassie come back, so she was thrown in there somehow.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, exactly, because we know Cassie was outside. She was put in there. They must have placed her into, like, the purgatory. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this was just a body. I don't think it was Angelica being placed in there. I think it's somebody else. Or maybe it was her, and he placed her in. Whatever it is.
He said he didn't prep Angelica.
He prepped somebody else. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But here's my question, though, is because of the flashback from tonight's episode, I got the impression that house was on, like, a different plane of some sorts. Do you know, like,
a different year or different...
Yeah.
You just can't get to it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, not in the physical world and from the naked eye. And that's why I don't understand how he was able to put Rebecca in that body, because I thought it was just supposed to be someone that was...
Well, it's just like Vampire Diaries when you have that
right
in 1994.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, though, if he can put somebody in there, then how come he can't get somebody out of there? If Cole has the power to...
He probably knows.
Because that was part of the thing that Klaus did. No one's ever leaving that house again.
But how does he get them in? Like, you can open the door, you just one way, but just not the other.
Some kind of magic. You can't trust them.
The reason we don't know is because we haven't had these questions answered yet. There's a lot of questions. There's very little answers. All we know is that Rebecca, her spirit is still alive. Her body is still intact and in its coffin, but her body and her spirit are separate. Yeah. Which is very interesting. I feel like we worked very hard to get Rebecca back for a very long time.
For 2 episodes, really?
Disappointment, yeah.
And now, but at least she didn't get white oaked, because then there would be no chance. After the white oak, her body would be gone. So, and it would disintegrate, burn, and go away. So there's hope.
So what other vampires?
Pun intended.
And there's hope.
Oh, and so with other vampires.
Whoever
her bloodline.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that not as many vampires would go because she's turned the least, I'm guessing.
But still probably hundreds.
Yeah.
So is
thousands.
No one suspecting that Cole had anything to do with the fact that Rebecca, like, it worked to save Cammy, but for some reason it didn't work on, like, no one's
Where are they thinking Rebecca is right now?
Yeah, because I mean, him and Colvina, I'm sorry, were
Don't
walking.
you dare mess up.
Yeah, they were walking, and he said, while everyone's distracted looking for Rebecca right now because they don't know where she is, we can do our plan with the big ass diamond that he has. But no one's wondering, like, hey, he was in charge of prepping the body, so if it worked for Cammy, why didn't it work for...
I don't think that they've had time. I think that definitely will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think, though, he's trying to gain the trust by, I'm bringing you the white oak steak.
Yeah.
He does give him the white oak back. He does. He could have stabbed one of them. But imagine if he stabbed Klaus and Elijah would...
Because he's making a dagger that's going to be way worse, probably, for Klaus.
Not going to be worse. Nothing's worse than the white oak.
The white oak will kill him instantly. Whatever he has planned might torture him, might be more painful.
You think it's like Papa Tunde's thing?
Well, it's like, hey, how many times did he stake them and then leave them in a box for a century and then have them wake back up?
Even if it's a facade right now, we do have a lot of the siblings on the same team for the first time. The only one who doesn't seem to be on their team is Finn, and Finn is now been released from the box he's in. Any guesses as to how Finn got out or Michael, or what Finn's plan is? Because we know that Michael and Esther have now teamed up together. And Finn is with Esther, supposedly. So what's going on?
Klaus said that Michael is doing Esther's dirty work, so he got Finn out of the box.
Right.
And Finn said to Cammy at one point in this episode that he was going to kill all of the vampires and anybody who stands with them.
Including
So
Cammy.
it seems like Finn and his dad have a lot in common right now because we don't know what Esther is choosing. We don't know if she's dead or alive.
I thought this was the coolest part of the entire episode.
I loved it.
Even though I love Colvina, this to me was my, T and I both said that there wasn't a moment that I was like, oh, this actually was a moment where I was like, oh, cool. It's not that I didn't see it coming, but I just think that it's an awesome predicament that she's in.
Yeah.
Suck that. Like,
Pun intended.
yeah, seriously. Honestly, I want a definite answer from you guys what you think she's going to do. Is she going to, because you can't be a witch and a vampire at the same time, she's either going to die or become the thing she hates the most. What is she going to choose?
Can't she decide to become the vampire and then find some witch to do exactly what she was trying to do for her kids?
But then she'll be human. Oh, but she was going to make them witch. Maybe.
Isn't that the easy explanation to figure this
think
out?
that-
She
that's what
had
she's
like
gonna
master
try to do.
powers, though. I don't know. She was the most powerful witch of them all.
But she'd
Yeah.
rather be a witch than just dead, in my opinion. So I think she's going to at least try to do that.
Or maybe she has to make another deal with Dahlia.
My favorite part of that scene was when Klaus told her it's your choice, which is more than you've ever given us. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so true.
So true. I love that. So what do you think? Do you think she's gonna... Is there any chance that she decides, I'm gonna die?
I mean, that to me would be if as her character, that's the most logical thing. That's what her character, I feel like, would. But she's so stubborn and headstrong that she's so mad that her plan didn't work that she's probably just going to keep on trying.
She's going to make another plan.
Get another body somehow. I don't know.
Is there any love between Esther and Michael at this point? If Esther does stay alive?
Gross. I don't know.
You don't see it ever happening?
No, I think that Michael might still be into her. But I think she's...
But who? I mean, she's
Which
top
one?
of bodies.
I think he's bitter about the whole Ansel thing still.
Get over
kinda
it.
said it a little
But
bit.
I think that he's bitter about it, but he hasn't let go because he still loves her. Like, he's not letting it go because there's still feelings there on his end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't believe Ansel's completely gone. I have a very hard time believing it.
I'm really upset.
Because it
so.
took,
Yeah.
why
terrible.
was he back then? For what? I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some witchy voodoo we can do to get him back. Does anybody else think that maybe he can return and him and Esther, he'll be a wolf and Esther will be a vamp or something?
I just don't like Esther's character at all. But I loved him.
You don't like Lenore Esther or you don't like Esther, period?
Esther, period. I'm sick of it. And just
Really? I
Yeah.
love Esther. But I gotta say, I like Michael the most. I think Michael is just the big bad, the biggest of the bads ever.
Scares me.
Me too. Every time he's on, that's what everybody we've brought on the show that or from TVD that's worked with him said that's why they keep bringing his character back because he's like the most amazing person to work with and he's so talented clearly and
Yeah.
he scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What else about this episode before we jump to a little bit of news and gossip because I know you guys. Yep.
Me,
I
pick
call
me,
on
teacher.
T. I call on you.
There was one point when we were having our family reunion in Arkansas, and they were telling Rebecca and Elijah about what they learned from Finn about the firstborn and what really happened to Freya. Klaus phrased it as Dahlia took Freya as payment. He never said she took her to kill her or anything like that. So I still think that Freya is out there and alive.
I agree with you, and I'm wondering
And a
why.
vamp.
I don't know what she is.
Okay.
I'm wondering why no one was questioning these starlings that Rebecca saw last episode that were watching her in hope because Esther still didn't talk about the baby and they acted as though Esther doesn't know about the baby, we got to burn this picture. Well, then who are those starlings? Who was it? Dahlia? Was it Freya? Nobody was questioning that. I
And
don't
nobody's
understand.
questioning the things that Elijah's doing either, because even though Elijah doesn't decide to be the Rebecca, he still murdered a bunch of people, and he's still under watch right now. Is he going to willingly do what Rebecca did anyway and try to become witchy?
thinking about it now, actually, like, I think that Freya is alive, and I think she's probably a witch.
Probably because she was training with
Yeah,
Dahlia
and they
this
weren't
whole time.
they weren't vampires yet.
Yeah, but maybe when she did the vamp spell,
No, but they all had to drink the blood, and then he slaughtered them all. So I think that she could still be alive, and she could be like, all right, I'm gonna do what Mom was trying to do the whole time. Like maybe Esther
you think
will
she's
die.
Team Mom?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Because if Esther does die, she's going to need someone to finish what she was trying to do. And I could see her coming back and be like, hey guys, I'm Freya. Nice to meet you. I'm going to kill you.
This is getting a little into predictions, I feel.
How is Elijah going to get out of this whole situation, though? Because it seems as though last week or 2 weeks ago when he got coffee spilt on him, that's what triggered the dirtiness, triggered his attack and wanting to kill everybody. And he had that flashback moment when he was dealing with the wood. It obviously dirtied his hands.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe once now that Esther's witch powers are gone, maybe that will
go
away because
it will be like
the curse will be kind of lifted in a way.
Maybe when somebody that would be interesting. All right, I want to get to some news and gossip, guys.
AfterBuzz TV
So
News.
we talked about it a little bit on Vampire Diaries this week, but there was some more news that came out today. So we had originally said that it wasn't final, but that Claire Holt, obviously Rebecca, was up for the role of Supergirl in the CBS show. And today it was said by Hollywood Reporter that she is not the front runner. She's still in the running, but not the front runner. And they don't know if it's true. I was talking about before how I thought it would be an issue with CW if she was getting poached by CBS. But you guys at home, being the most amazing fans of all time, told us that CBS owns CW, so they thought it wouldn't be a problem. I still feel like she has some loose ends on this show, but at least that way it's not like she can never come guest on it or flashbacks or whatever. What do you guys think? Would you like to see her as Supergirl? I think she looks perfect for the part, but would you like to see her as that, or would that kind of crush your dreams about where she would be going on this show?
I would like to see her for her career. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a good place for her to go, but I'm sad about Rebecca leaving. I hope she at least comes back for flashbacks or comes back in the future. If not, it's a long time from now.
Yeah, and I mean, so many new shows fail, and then characters can come back. And I'm not saying this is going to fail, but just saying, we can always get her back. It's frustrating what they've done with her character on the show, though, because they keep on teasing us and bringing her back and taking her away. And it's frustrating to watch because I really like Rebecca.
It's like Bonnie.
I was just gonna say she's become the Bonnie,
Yeah.
and that's sad.
Never good.
It's never good. But
Would you like to see her cast as Supergirl, or?
I mean, I know nothing. I don't know if I would watch a Supergirl TV show. I don't really watch those kind of shows, which is kind of this kind of show, supernatural type of stuff. But I mean, I want Rebecca, so I'm selfish in that way. So I want her here where she belongs.
I would love the best of both worlds. I'm a big DC person, so I would love to see her as Supergirl. I think that she would be awesome, but I'm only okay with that if she can there's still a possibility that she comes back on our show. You're not
It would never work.
It could
If
work.
she's the star of another show,
Supergirl can do it.
She's not going to be having time off to come film for a week in Atlanta.
You never know, T. Don't crush my dreams, girl.
Setting you up for reality.
Oh, well, maybe I just want TV. All right, let's get to some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, so I made you guys watch this like 16 times. We are looking at what's going to happen. We are not back until January 19th.
This is killing me.
What is that? And that means we'll be back here January 20th. Brutal amount of time to lose. Although I will say the only thing that's going to keep me going is that the scenes from then look amazing. They looked amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, no offense to originals and Vampire Diaries, but they don't do the best scenes from next week. It's kind of like they don't want to give things away. But this was on fire. Let's talk about what we saw. There's a witch problem. Don't know what that means.
There's always a witch problem.
Is it a Davina witch problem? Is it a Finn? Is it a Cole? Not sure.
Finn.
You because you just don't trust him. I don't either. We didn't even see anything about Dahlia, but we know Dahlia's got to be coming for Hope, especially because where's Hope going to be? There's no more Rebecca, or the Rebecca that isn't in the house. What do you guys think about that? is Dahlia coming back for Hope? Because who's Hope going to be living with?
I think Dahlia was coming back regardless.
Okay.
Because I think that even though they've protected Hope, she still has to have a sense or something of when a child is born. Because if we remember the flashback, she didn't come for Freya until Freya was old enough to walk away and be like, Mom, she was talking.
There's been too much movement, too.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't like, hey, just the child's born, give her to me. Mm-hmm. It was like, the child's born, and when I feel like coming to collect, I'm gonna come collect.
It's like Sleeping Beauty or Maleficent, like, and on her 16th birthday.
She might have to be awakened.
What do you mean? Dahlia might have to be awakened?
Yeah.
Because do we even know where she is?
Maybe Dahlia's in the house.
I don't know. I don't think Dahlia's in the house. Who's in Cassie's body now? Who's in Cassie? Now Cassie's back in her body. Mm-hmm. So as long as Esther left, then she goes back to being Cassie. So if somebody leaves your body. So if Rebecca's able to leave this girl's body, this girl that she's in would be able to go back to being that girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But maybe that girl is Dahlia? Maybe Cole's trying to do something. No.
I don't know.
I've gone too far.
I'm just saying that maybe
she's
Dahlia,
one of them?
because they said that this has become sort of like a witchy prison.
Right.
Maybe somehow she got trapped inside that house, too.
What are we doing with Cassie being back there? What's the point of us throwing Cassie in there, who is going to be able to know who Rebecca is? Why does the show want us to go back to that? Other than the fact that we love Natalie and thought she was amazing when she came in on our show. Do you guys have...
I have no...
This is the most silent prediction team of all time.
Because we had all these, like, flashes of things. I'm like, I have no idea where they're going with any of this because there's no context to any of it. Yeah. We haven't seen Cassie in a scene in 5 episodes.
Maybe Cole's, I'm sorry, not completely evil, and he knew she would be there, and so she'd have a little guide.
Oh, you think he was trying to help her out a bit?
Not help. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, because like no one really knew Cassie as Cassie to be like, oh, Cassie will be a friend to Rebecca. And
right.
Like no one, Cole wouldn't have known that Cassie would be like, hey, you're like a Michelson sister. Let's hang out.
We don't know her either.
Yeah, we don't know the real Cassie either.
Are we going back to the wars of vampires versus wolves? Because it seemed like that was happening.
It seems like it's vampires versus wolves versus witches. Because all 3 of them were.
I really felt like we were growing.
Finn is trying to break that apart, though. He says the only thing that exists between the 2 of you is death.
Yeah.
Wolves and vampires.
Negative.
So no matter what steps they took forward, he's trying to break that down.
All right, any other predictions? Okay, so if they are like dying to talk to you guys, I'm talking about you audience members, the best people of all time. You're dying to talk to my panel because you have a month, more than a month, a month and a half of a hiatus, which is, I already expressed my feelings on it. I know you guys are going to want to talk to them. Sam, where can they find you?
You can find me online at samdavidsonentertainment.com and on Twitter and Instagram, thank you, at samd43.
Oh, I'm pumping it up. Katie, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's, and Instagram at Katie Campbell 13.
And I'm on both of those things at the Tiona Hobson.
You're so popular, Jay.
No, I'm not. You are. Stop it.
Oh, gosh. And you can find me at Roxy Striar. You can find us at AfterBuzz TV, AfterBuzzTV.com. Honestly, you have so much time to do this, so I'm counting on all of you. Go to iTunes, rate, comment, subscribe. Let us know how much you miss us. Let us know what you want us to talk about when we come back. Go to YouTube, do the same thing. I was wondering what happened to my music. So iTunes, YouTube, we love you guys so much. We are so excited to talk to you. Please, please, please keep the conversation going throughout the next month and a half. We will miss you guys, but we will be back January 20th here at this table. Until then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.